So in January 1995, I arrived in Chechnya on the 7th of January. And as I said, the Russians started bombing. What was interesting, we had Julian Mangan standing up doing a stand-up. All these journalists would gather around. It was like some kind of reunion. And Heidi Bredner and I looked up into the sky and we saw this jet, and it made a turn and it became sort of like a cross. And it was silver, and the way the light hit it was incredible. And we just thought it was a beautiful sight. And all of a sudden it turned and it came straight down. The next thing you hear is pop, 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 pop. And then it started blanket bombing Grozny. And a lot of us had covered conflicts before, but never like being under Russian guns. I mean, like this. I'd been under Russian guns during the putsch, but nothing like this. And consequently, we all ran in a panic. I ran into a building with a friend who I'd met there named Michael Yasakovich. We ran into this building, and I'm dropping cameras and bags and everything. We were running for our lives. We ran into this building. It was all made of glass. It was like something out of Die Hard 5 or something. There was all this glass, and all you could hear as you're running down this corridor and glass breaking. And you keep running and running, and the explosions just don't end, and you're slipping and falling and getting up, and you're running because you just think you're going to die underneath these bombs, and finally you're running into a brick wall. You don't know where to go. This brick wall is between you and maybe freedom, safety. And the bombing stops, and you look down and you see all the glass, you see your cameras on the ground, you see some blood on your hands where you fell, and you realize that you are in a war, and that it's a dangerous and very deadly war, and that you may not survive. So I go outside after the bombing, everyone is picking themselves off the ground, brushing themselves off, amazed that they're still alive, praying to God that they're still alive. And you look at the bodies on the street. Those that didn't make it or weren't fast enough or didn't have safety. And I walked out to what was this kind of burning house. It was near a gas main sort of thing, and you had the fire. And a man is standing there sort of like in kind of dirty and bloody and a dazed look, and he's got a chair on his head. Chair in his head, and it also adds to the surrealism of the whole situation anyway. And I discover through a translator, through someone who translates, who speaks to him, that his whole family had been killed during the bombing, and that he didn't know what to do, and he was kind of disoriented, and then, the next few days we see him again, and he still has a chair on his head. And we're starting to be disturbed. Why is this man running around with a chair on his head? And again, the translation comes to me, and they say, well, he's keeping the chair because it's the only thing left from his house. And he believes because he was sort of under it when the bombs were dropping, it's sort of like his protection. So if he feels that if he takes it away, he'll be killed. So I'm photographing this individual every other day. I look for him and try to find him and take some pictures. One day I don't find him, and I hear that he was standing in the street, and the plane came over, and I guess he wanted a better view. It must have been difficult with a chair in front of his eyes. Moved it and took it off his head, just for a moment, just to see what was going on. And he was killed by a sniper.
عريا روح التحت حقيقو يرسيا خصو عرياغو حتى حوس سرياغو حتى حو حقيقو يرسيا خصو